What's going on, guys? It's Lils here, back with another video. Today's video, we're going to talk about how you can do millions and millions of damage to a dragon as quickly as you can. Talk about armor sets, weapons, pets for dragons, how to exactly fight the dragon, and also going to be talking a little bit about dragon parties. If you like this content, I stream every Friday, Saturday and Sunday over at Twitch. And without further ado, let's get in the video. There are two main armor sets used by the dragon party community, that being the Elegant Tuxedo and the Tarantula armor set. I'll be covering the Elegant Tuxedo first, as is the armor set I'm wearing currently. The Elegant Tuxedo is arguably the highest damage output set in the entire game, but this comes at a hefty price of 75 million coins from the NPC inside of the hub, but you can get the pieces for cheaper on the auction house like I did. There was one major drawback to the Elegant Tuxedo, which being the full set bonus. Your max health is set to 250 hearts, but you do 150% extra damage per hit, essentially making you a glass cannon. The set overall gives a decent amount of health, defense, speed and intelligence, with the chestplate giving 300 intelligence. The chestplate also gives 100% crit damage, the highest of any piece inside the entire game. The Elegant Tuxedo does not come with a helmet as standard, so for my own choice I like to use the Crown of Greed. The Crown of Greed is arguably the best armor set to use with the Elegant Tuxedo, as it gives you 25% extra base damage on every single hit, but the drawback being it costs the weapon's base damage in coins from your purse. So for example, my Livid Dagger has 240 base damage, meaning every single time I hit a mob, it will take 240 coins from my purse. This seems like it would be expensive, but in the long run with the amount of drops you'd be getting from dragons and even golems, this would definitely pay off. Another good option for those that do not want to use the Crown of Greed is the Tarantula helmet, as it gives extra crit damage for every single talisman you have reforged to strength. The Tarantula armor is arguably the best armor set for beginners wanting to get into dragons, as it usually only costs 3 million coins from the auction house. The one great perk about the Tarantula armor set is the boots, which allow you to double jump, meaning it's very easy to hover above the dragon and do loads of damage to him. The one downside of using Elegant Tuxedo is you're not allowed to use the Tarantula boots, so most players do what is referred to as tux dropping, which I'll cover later in this video. For weapons, you want a decent mixture of a good bow and a good sword. For my own personal setup, for my sword I'm using a Livid Dagger with Swarm 3, Critical 6, Lethality 6, Ender Slayer 6, and a decent amount of other enchants. My sword is also fully Fuming Potato booked, and it has the Fabled Reforge, which gives critical hits a chance to deal up to 20% extra damage. For my bow, I'm using a Magma Bow with Dragon Hunter 3, Infinite Quiver 10, Overload 3. This is also fully Hot Potato booked, and it has the Unreal Reforge applied to it. For a cheap setup for new Dragon Party beginners, I recommend an aspect of the dragons, like this one shown on the screen. Make sure it's fully enchanted and at least has Hot Potato books on it. And for a bow, I recommend the Magma Bow, as this is a relatively cheap bow, costing only around 150,000 coins from the auction house, and it's arguably the highest damaged bow in the game currently. Now some players might make the argument that Runan's bow is actually better than the Magma Bow, but I have to disagree with them. I disagree with them because the Runan's bow gets the majority of its damage from the two side arrows that also can fly in and hit the dragon. But due to the unpredictable nature of the dragon's flight path, it can be sometimes hard to hit all 3 shots on the dragon, whereas the Magma Bow does one high damage shot, meaning it is more consistent with damage than the Runan's bow. For an expensive setup, I definitely recommend the Livid Dagger, as its backstab ability deals 100% more damage if you're behind your target. So if you're floating above the dragon or underneath its belly, you can easily get a lot of damage with this in. For an expensive bow, I would recommend the Mosquito Bow. Technically, it is meant to be the highest performing bow in single shot damage, but the Magma Bow is currently glitched, meaning it does more damage than the Mosquito. So the Mosquito is really for those players that want to prepare themselves for when the Magma finally gets patched. For pets, I personally like to use a level 100 Wither Skeleton, as it has a good balance of intelligence, strength, defense, crit damage and crit chance, and the best perk being a Death's Touch, where upon hitting an enemy, you inflict the Wither effect on them for 200% damage over 3 seconds, and this effect does not stack. So for instance, if I drew my bow back and did 100,000 damage to the dragon with my bow, the Wither Skeleton will give me an extra 200,000 damage over the next 3 seconds. For pet items, I personally like to use the Shalmet, as this makes me immune to knockback. The Wither Skeleton is an amazing pet for those starting as Berserker inside of dungeons, and it is also an amazing pet for those doing dragons and golems, as it's one of the highest damage output pets in the entire game. but the one disadvantage to using it is it's a mining pet, meaning it takes quite a while to level up. Another great pet to use is the tiger pet. The Tiger Pet has a perk called Merciless Swipe, where you have a certain percentage chance to hit double strikes on any of your attacks. But I personally don't like to use this pet, as the Merciless Swipe perk is very RNG based, meaning you could have a lot of procs of it on one dragon, and with the next dragon you could have absolutely no procs of it at all, whereas the Wither Skeleton is more consistent. The Tiger Pet is much easier to level up compared to the Wither Skeleton though, as it is a combat pet. At the start of the dragon fight, you'll want to place your summoning eyes in the portal frames below, and then you'll want to jump up onto one of these pillars right here, so you can get a bit more height advantage to start pre-firing the dragon. Pre-firing is the act of firing your bow shots up into the air, so when the dragon egg explodes, your bow shots will come down and hit on the dragon, giving you a bunch of free damage and hopefully giving you a higher position on the leaderboard, meaning better loot. Right, superior. That's not superior. That's at what we call a fat rep. Three main attacks that the dragon can have: Rush, Fireball, and Lightning. Rush is very self-explanatory. The dragon will rush at a player of his choosing and do a lot of damage to him. This is the highest damage attack the dragon can do to you. There is also Lightning, where the dragon will stop in place mid-air for about 1 to 2 seconds and call down a bunch of lightning on multiple players at once. Fireball is arguably the most important attack to know about, as the dragon will stop in place for about 6 to 7 seconds, and this is the best opportunity to fly over and melee him. Now moving on to the melee part of the dragon fight, with Tarantula Boots it's very simple. All you want to do is jump up in the air and double jump under the dragon, making sure you aim for the belly, as this has got the best hit registration. If there are others blocking the belly, you can also aim for the tail, as not many players go for this, but the hit registration is quite sketchy on it. Now moving on to Tux dropping, it's essentially the same as Tarantula armor, but instead what you'll want to do is once you get to the dragon, bring your aspect to the end out and teleport up to the dragon, making sure you're keeping direct contact with him, and make sure you sword swap to the right sword to make sure you get as much damage as possible. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Oh my god! Hello? Moving on to Dragon Weight. Dragon Weight essentially is the calculation Hypixel runs at the end of the dragon fight in order to determine what loot you're eligible for. Each summoning eye placed by the player will give you 100 Dragon Weight. First place on the dragon gives you 250 weight. Second, 200. Third, 150, and so on and so forth down the leaderboard. I'll attach a screenshot of the table here provided on the Hypixel Skyblock wiki, and I'll also put a link in the description for those interested in reading more. For those that place 2 summoning eyes, you'll want to ideally get first on the dragon, as this will let you get every single loot drop possible. For those placing 3 eyes, you'll want to aim for 2nd or 3rd place. But just because you get the dragon weight needed for the drops does not mean you automatically will get them. Lastly, moving on to dragon parties. Dragon parties are most commonly found inside of Hub 1 and Hub 2. They will usually be formed by people that put messages in chat saying LFDP, 2 eyes, with LF meaning looking for, DP meaning dragon party, and then obviously 2 eyes meaning how many they want to place. They can also be found by saying LFDP 4 out of 8, where they state how many eyes they have in the party currently, and a call out for you to say. Moving on to Sweat. If you're not able to do much damage and you're scared of getting out damaged easily by other players inside of your dragon party, there is a mod that lets you track other stats called Not Enough Updates. I'll provide a link for it in the description below for those that have Forge. But in essence, you want to do /PV and then my IGN, for example my IGN, so you can see my net worth, my health, defense, all my stats, all my skills. You come to this page, bank balances, average skill levels, auction stats, etc. And you can click on the end chest, you can see the armor sets and all that kind of stuff. But there is an option to turn the inventory API off. So if they do have the inventory API off, you can come back here, and if their gold spent or gold earned is typically over 1 billion, you'll want to avoid them, as this typically means they're quite good at the game and they just want to hide it so you can dragon party with them and then they'll destroy you. Anyways, if you like this video, make sure to go subscribe down below and follow my Twitch. I'll stream every Friday, Saturday and Sunday, as I've stated before. And anyways, Hope you guys have a good day. My name is Lils. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.